Hey, what's up, everybody? Well, first of all, it's 8:34. Last night, um, basically around 11:30 midnight, I was watching the Off the Rope show, Jeff the Schleg Daddy's review of Against All Odds. And one of the questions he had was basically, what is TNA doing to AJ Styles? Basically, here's someone in AJ Styles that's the face of the company, supposed to be the franchise guy, supposed to be the company, supposed to be one of the guys that gets the company's built around, one of the one of the young future stars of the business. And now, from what he saw last night with his match with Kazarian, is that now they're basically shitting on AJ. It's like, okay, we'll put him in the world title picture, but he's not going to win, and now they're completely shitting on him by putting him in a feud, a sub-feud within a feud. So, but the question that he has basically is, why are they doing this to AJ? What did he do? Well, here's my opinion, here's my answer, and this is just my opinions with this answer from what I've seen online. And Jeff, I'm pretty sure you may have seen this online, maybe not. I'm pretty sure anybody else asking the same question of what TNA is doing with it, AJ is asking the same question. Here's the short answer. Here's the short answer, my friend. Here's the short answer. About around last year, during last year, around I think this time last year or later on or something like that. According to what I understand from listening to stuff online and reading stuff online, AJ had become very critical. In other words, was criticizing the very company he was working for. Yeah. And this is a guy, honestly, that I met him in person. I met AJ. He called me the man with 1,000 questions. I met him at a CSW event, Central States Wrestling. I was part of a Q&A session with him. So that was kind of fun. But, and he's a very nice guy, very talented guy. There's no doubt about it. But here's the thing. AJ, basically throughout last year, or throughout 2011, from what I understand, maybe it was before that, but definitely around last year, have been very critical about the company. In other words, the direction the company was going, what they were doing with certain talent. He would basically bash the company he was working for. So apparently, this is just my opinion, apparently what happened is that the higher ups at TNA, which probably do include the likes of maybe Bischoff and Hogan, probably got wind of this and said, you know what? AJ may be our franchise player, but he's not exempt. No one is. And we're going to show that, we're going to make him an example. Make an example out of him by showing that no one, not even the franchise and face of our company, is an exemption to criticizing us. And so basically that is why over the past year or so you've seen AJ in these situations, kind of like whether either misusing him, he's either in a good program like he was at the beginning of last year, or he's kind of like being misused and kind of like stuck in the middle situation right now. It's all because of the fact that he criticized and bashed the company. And I guess by TNA standards, yeah, they probably do acknowledge they make mistakes, but they don't want those superstars to acknowledge they make mistakes. It's kind of like with the WWE, it's kind of like with any promotion, wrestling or even maybe mixed martial arts. You say something bad about the company you work for, you're basically saying, look, I'm just going to say this, do what you want. You're basically giving the company free reign to punish you for what you've done. You're basically starting the first step towards career suicide. So, to kind of pull you back in, I guess, and make you realize that, hey, we know we make mistakes, but you can't just go out there and tell the whole world we do. What they probably did is they pulled AJ in and said, look, we understand you're upset with the company, but you can't just go out there and tell the world, oh, TNA's this, TNA's that, this and that. You can't give them a bad name. So, my opinions my opinion, the reason AJ is being pushed in this direction, or being de-pushed and being kind of like put in this situation that, you know, they've got to have eventually him and Daniels meet probably at lockdown, that the reason this is happening is because of what AJ said. It's because of AJ's criticization of the company. Now, my other opinion on this is the reason TNA is punishing or putting AJ in these situations for, in my opinion, for what he said, is due to the fact that maybe they see WWE not doing it to John Cena. Because we know John's probably said some things about WWE, but yet he's never been punished. So I'm guessing TNA is saying, okay, WWE doesn't want to punish their franchise, their face of the company. Well, guess what? We're going to show that no one's exempt in our company. We're going to punish our face. We're going to punish our face, our franchise player, for what he's done. So basically what's going on right now is AJ, as the old saying goes, is eating shit and being forced to like. He's basically eating shit and liking it. He's basically being fed shit whether he likes it or not because of what he said. In my opinion, that's just what I think is going on. Because it's real simple. Let's say you work for, I don't know, let's say you work for McDonald's. And McDonald's probably has a YouTube page, we all know that. But let's say you work for McDonald's and you go on your YouTube page and you basically shoot at how stupid, how pathetic McDonald's is, or how bad the environment is, or how disorganized, right? Not saying they are, but I'm just saying, for an example, you say all this stuff, all this criticization, all this negative criticism. You think, now let's say for example, somebody, one of the higher ups of the McDonald's Corporation, maybe the one that you work at, overhears this on YouTube. They basically call up the store you work at, or they basically call you, basically take you aside and say, hey, you want to say that stuff? Guess what? You're either going to be fired. Guess what? This is what we're going to do to you. And they'll probably put you in situations like make you clean out bathrooms, clean out the outside, you know, every inch of it, or something like that. You know, sweep and stuff like that. Well, when you could be doing things like cooking or running the cash register or doing the drive-through, you'd end up doing all this other miscellaneous stuff. And maybe have your hours and pay cut. You know what I'm saying? Basically, as an example, that's what's going on with AJ. In my opinion, because of what he said last year, being very critical about the company, TNA, the higher-ups, and whoever's in charge, maybe Hogan, maybe Bischoff, maybe anybody else, is probably saying, okay, AJ, you want to say this? Fine. This is what we're going to do. This is what's going to happen. We're going to feed you shit, and you're going to like it. Now, you might say to yourself, well, AJ was in a world title program recently. Yeah, he was in the world title program, but here's why. TNA, they may be putting AJ through a situation right now where he's eating shit and having to like it. But the fact is, the reason they put him in the world title picture a few months ago was to basically keep the internet quiet about what's going on. So it doesn't look like anything's wrong. But that's the only reason they did it, in my opinion. But my opinion as a fan, as a smart, if you will, is because AJ being critical of the company, it's now coming back on him. And that's why he's going through this situation. How much longer do I think it's going to go? Well, I don't think it's going to go much longer. I don't think so. I think maybe he's got one more round to go or something like that, and then maybe lockdown he'll finally get a payoff victory. But again, what I'm saying is that this is why this is happening right now. In my opinion, this is why AJ is going through this. So, tell me what your thoughts are. Do you agree with me? And let me know what you think. Do a video response if you like. I'll talk to you later.